Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends, neighbors, and relatives, welcome back to the Bald Expat. My name is Dano. I want to apologize again for not having that video out in time yesterday, and it may even seem a little bit late today, but the same thing happened today, actually. I was sitting in this exact spot about 4 hours ago, and I was all set up. I was about 2 or 3 minutes away from starting this video, and I ended up having to drive a fire truck. So, and again, I was feeling good enough. I'm a volunteer. My disability day to day, I don't know what's going to be, but I was feeling good enough to do it today. I already know that tomorrow I will not be feeling good enough. So, but I did not want to postpone this video another day. Again, service to others is important to me. Now, a lot of people have asked me, why am I going to the Philippines? And I'm sorry, I do have some notes here, so I'm kind of half cheating. Why am I going to the Philippines? I have watched, as I said, about 300 hours of videos of expats that are over there. And the reason I started doing that was I was actually spurred on to do that by a gentleman I had met at my daughter's work. And this was 17, 18 years ago. So it'd been a while ago. That long? Yeah, 17 or 18 years ago. So it's been something in my mind. He mentioned it, and kind of like the culture's different over there. It's way different. And so I started looking into it. I mean, I didn't realize, just from a geography point of view, that the Philippines is actually made up of over 7,600 islands. Yeah, 7,600 islands. Now, what's their definition of an island? I don't know. I don't know if a rock is sticking above water level 70% of the time, if they call that an island or not. I know that the vast majority of those, I say I know, it's just because I've been told in all this 300 hours of video, that the vast majority of them are uninhibited. No one's ever lived there. Some of them, I believe, are protected for one reason or another, that you're not supposed to go there. But there's some beautiful things over there when I really started researching it. And if you research travel destinations or beautiful places to visit in the Philippines, they have some pretty phenomenal, beautiful places to visit. For me personally, everyone ends up wherever they are in life, and it can be solely because of decisions we made, or a combination of decisions we've made and things that have happened to us, or maybe mostly things that have happened to you have led you to wherever you are. And so that seed that was planted a long time for me has grown into something and enough of an interest, and I've done enough research that I'm going to do it. And I want to take you along with that journey. I have watched videos regarding legal issues, both just as an expat over there or an expat that's in a relationship over there. I've watched videos on red flags to watch if you're going to go over there for relationship purposes, or you bumble into a relationship over there, what to watch out for, scams from the airport, and things to watch out for. But I've also come to understand from a multitude of people I've watched, if someone has made an expat video in the past year, maybe not a video, but if they've made and posted a few videos in the past year, I've probably seen at least one of them. Now there's about 8 people, I kind of wrote them down, that I follow mostly, but sometimes I'll search different things, and feel free to search. Search expat in the Philippines, or places, reasons that expats go to the Philippines. And all these different people will come up. So there's lots of people that are making videos over there. Usually they're kind of niche, or niche, whatever word you want to use. It's maybe life budget. Some are mostly travel. There's a couple that are almost entirely relationship based. Some are from expats, whether it be from America, Great Britain, Australia. And then there are a few that are Philippine nationals that have channels that I watch. And theirs can be about culture and life or relationships. One of them is almost entirely about relationships. Red flags, green flags, things of that nature. The difference between dating in the Filipino culture versus maybe the American culture. And so they each have something that they can contribute. And I recommend, if searching for them, I obviously in the early stages, my goal is to, once I get going, and my plan right now is to leave for the Philippines on June 8th or 9th is when I plan on leaving to go to the Philippines. And so I'm going to bring you with me, like when I'm packing, what I've learned from all these different videos of things to pack, what to kind of do in advance. You'll want to do some things in advance. There's things that you should be doing years in advance, or just doing anyways, but a year or so in advance doing some things, and then what to do as you ramp up and then actually leave. Because of my disability, I have, for example, I had to research what medications am I allowed to walk in with, what medications maybe do I need to have any prior approval for, things like that. And then, of course, once I get there, I'm going to have to find a Philippines doctor to take over that prescription kind of thing. So some people will have that concern. Other people are very healthy. So it all matters differently to different people as to what's important. But so I'm going over because of that seed that was planted. It spurred enough interest and drive in me that I know if I don't go now, I don't know, I have good days and bad days with my disability and how I feel, but right now I think that I'm healthy enough to go over, live, and I don't know how much exploring I'll be able to do. There's a lot of walking, a lot of hiking, so that is something that I'm going to be limited on, but that doesn't define life. So we'll see. It's going to be different. I'm trying to plan as much as I can. I've certainly researched a lot, but everyone has their own tolerances of what they can tolerate, what they can, whether it be the weather. Right now it's very warm there, to social things that may bother them, may be different from the country they came from, and it's just something that they can't get over. So despite the amount of planning and research I've done, is it possible I could go over and just go down in flames horribly? Sure it is. But I decided that I'm not going to lay on my deathbed and say, I wonder what would have happened if. On my 58th birthday, I went to go see my grandkids. I wanted to be holding my grandkids on my birthday. And I was listening to a podcast, and they mentioned that the average life expectancy of a man in the United States is 75. And I thought to myself, a child born on my birthday wouldn't even be out of high school if I passed away when I turned 75. And then I just realized how short of a time frame that was. And that's what it kind of accelerated and really spurred, like, if I'm going to do this, I need to do this. And so it's all part of that for me. Not going to be laying on my deathbed wondering, I wonder what would have happened if. I think it's going to go well. There's going to be certainly some adjustments on my part, a lot of adjustments on my part. But whether it goes well or whether I do crash and burn, I think it's going to be a fantastic adventure and a wonderful experience. So, but the Philippines, a lot of people don't know, the Philippines is actually, like I said, it's made up of over 7,600 islands. A big thing for me is the currency issue. The Philippines in general, of course, in Manila, in the big cities, yeah, you can have properties worth hundreds of thousands of US dollars. People make, very good money that's equal to making very good money here in the United States, in the cities and so forth. Most of the people don't live like that, though, over there. The average US dollar equivalent that someone makes in the Philippines is about $300, give or take. And so everything is kind of based around that kind of figure. Cell phones, all the way down to Netflix plans are much cheaper there than here, and rent and just a bunch of things are different. So my money being on disability will go a lot farther there than it will here. Here, just the way my life has happened, disability is really a sentence to poverty for me here. Being recently out of a marriage, very recently out of a marriage, and just the way my life happened and the way my disability happened, I'm looking at it being able to be more comfortable there monetarily. My money will go a lot farther. Yesterday, I know, was it yesterday? The conversion was for every $1 US, you got like 59.9 Filipino pesos. And so the conversion rate is very good. So that's a big reason for me. I looked at Southeast Asia, all of those countries. There's a bunch of debate on some of these expat videos as to which one's the cheapest. There's probably hundreds of videos asking which one's the cheapest. Is it Vietnam, Thailand, Cambodia? Which one of them over there, the Philippines, which one is the least expensive to go to? And I think they all have maybe one area where maybe rent is cheaper, but something else costs more. And I think within a reasonable amount, they're all roughly the same. To me, it matters that the Philippines, English is one of their official languages. So nationally, they speak Tagalog is a national language, and English is a national language. Now, the farther you get away from a city, you get out in what in America we would call the country. In the Philippines, they call it the province. The province equals boondocks, basically. Once you get out in the province, some people, especially maybe an older population, they're not as fluent in English, but English is an official language of the Philippines. And so that makes it easy. I certainly am trying to learn some Tagalog, but old dog, it's hard teaching old dog new tricks. So I'm trying. And then in addition to Tagalog, because they're islands and they're so separate, they've developed regional dialects. And so many Filipinos speak 3 different languages. They'll speak their own dialect, Tagalog and English. And there's a joke I heard on one of the videos. What do you call a person that only speaks one language? An American. So, so I'm glad that English is an official language over there. So that's one of the reasons I'm going. The culture is another reason I'm going. I really like a lot of the things I hear. There's 2 themes that have run constant through all of the videos I've watched, no matter who put it out. Whether it's been rock and jazz, who I like a lot. Who else? We got Joe from Jogo Wonder, Mike's from That Philippine Life, Chad Foster for Chad Foster Explorers. They've all been consistent on two things. Number one, they should have done it much earlier than what they actually did. And number two, that across the board, the Filipino people are some of the happiest, nicest people that they've ever encountered on earth. Every country on earth has bad people, of course. And, there are, scammers that work the airports and try to scam a foreigner, things of that nature. But it's, those are two things that that attracted me to the Philippines. So as I get going, my videos are going to become more targeted to a specific topic, and especially once I get there, they'll be targeted towards a specific topic. And so hang on with me. I mean, we're early in the ride. The ride's going to go fast though, because if I'm looking at going there in just about 6 weeks, it's going to be a quick ride, and then we'll be there. So I appreciate you, everyone that's hanging out with me, that watches. If you would please subscribe if you're not subscribed, hit like. I'm not going to ask you to hit that alert bell, because again, I've never hit an alert bell. There is nothing that any of those people, as much as I like, there's not a single thing that any of them has said that I need an alert bell to go off at 2 o'clock in the morning to watch. And there's nothing I will ever say that you need to be alerted about at 2 o'clock in the morning. Don't worry about the bell. The heck with the bell. But if you would subscribe and like, if you have any comments, please comment. If you have any questions, shoot them over. I'll try to watch them. I apologize that these videos are just so basic, so obviously amateurish. Some people have gone over there, and that's that, man, they wanted to vlog, and they get into it heavy. I'm not going over there to spend 25 to 40 hours a week on vlogging. I'm really not. I mean, I'll probably going to be putting out a video a week at least, but it's probably not going to be a very heavily edited video, honestly. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time at it. It's not my purpose. My purpose is to lower my stress level, which will help with some health issues, some stress, lower stress, but and just live a happier life for the time that I have the health that I do. That's my goal, and I'd like to take you along for that ride. So thank you very much. Like I said, subscribe if you're not subscribed, hit like, add a comment. Remember, bald is beautiful, or as they say over there, magandang kalbo. Thanks a lot.